Hiya peeps, me again. I've got a little video for you with a bit of this, that and the other in it. So it's going to be a long one. Get yourself a cuppa. Get yourself comfortable. I'm going to be here a while. So I'm just showing you what I'm using at the moment. Those 3 pots you saw me show in the very beginning are colours that I mixed myself. And then there was some glitter from Max Professionals and some colours from Ink London, and you saw the names there. So yes, that's what I shall be using. So it's going to be the usual: push back the cuticles, do my nail prep, blah blah blah. But this is going to be a bit of a higgledy-piggledy video in that I start off using my dominant hand and applying nails to my non-dominant hand, and then I ended up out of shot for a lot of it. So then I recorded myself using my non-dominant hand applying to my dominant hand, and I'm rather cack-handed. It's not easy doing the dominant hand with using your non-dominant hand. So I'm right-handed, so I was using my left hand, so it's not easy, but I've showed it anyway, so you can see that it's doable. It's not easy, but it's doable. So hopefully that will encourage some other people to give it a go themselves. At the moment, I'm just nipping off some bits of skin that are hanging off. I won't cut any living tissue, just literally the little bits that are on the sides that are hanging over that will get in my way of the application. I don't really cut the eponychiums at all. And yeah, I don't agree with cutting that, because you cut them and the body actually creates more skin to protect itself, so it kind of defeats the purpose of cutting it away, because more grows back. So you're better off using loads of cuticle oil really, and pushing them back often, and that would help the problem more than actually cutting them off. So hey ho. And this tip was giving me a little bit of trouble, but I got there eventually. So now I'm just cutting them down with my tip cutter to the length that I want them to be. Now I'll go in with my hand file and just refine the shape of them a little bit. I wanted them tapered in a little bit more, so that's what I'm doing. And you'll see I flick my hand every so often to make sure that they're not wonky. Don't like wonky nails. So if you're bored of filing, please go ahead and just skip. But I know some people like to see the whole process, not just the application, so I thought I'd leave this in from this video. And yeah, so I'm just blending in the tips at the moment using my lovely sanding band with my e-file, and you'll notice that I actually go under the free edge a little bit to thin the very edge of the tip as well. So yeah, just blending them in. So I've just dehydrated, and now I'm going in with my primer. Being careful not to get the primer on the skin, because that's an irritant and it can cause a burning sensation. I'm putting on my clear base. As I say in pretty much every video, I always put a clear base down so that I've got something to file back to. It adheres better than any other acrylic with colour in it. It gives you something to file back to. I think I said that already, didn't I? It adds strength and it protects the nails from staining, so it's always worthwhile, in my opinion, to put a clear base down. And I'm using my Ink London brush. It's a size 10. I quite like it. I'm not sure if I like it more then my other brushes, I have a favourite, which is my flexi brush, but they're not so easy to get hold of, so that's why I went with the Ink London ones to give those a go. And I got the size 8 and the size 10. I did do a review on them actually, and they are nice brushes. I think my hesitation with it is that to make it flat, the lid won't fit on, and I really like to put my lids on because I like to store my brushes upside down so that the monomer doesn't run into the ferrule, which is the metal part, because when that happens it can cause it to rust, and then it discolors your monomer, makes it yellow, and it's quite hard to get that out. Once that gets in there, it's quite difficult to get it out. I mean, it's possible to get it out, but it's a bit of an effort. So I'm kind of like, I prefer a flatter brush rather than a pointy brush, if that makes sense. But if I make it flat, I can't get the lid back on without ruining the bristles, so I have to put it back into a point to get the lid back on, which is annoying. But anywho, I am waffling. Let me get on with telling you what I'm doing. So on that first nail I created a block design, so I've done a white triangle, and on this finger I'm just doing a marble with the grey colours and the white, just marbling them on the nail, patting them. I'm not swirling them too much. This is how I like to do my marbles. There are so many different ways to do a marble, but this is how I like to do them. You can do it the other way where it's kind of like all in a line, like diagonally lines down the nail. They look really nice too, but this is the way I fancied doing it, so that's what I did. And now I'm just adding a bit of the shimmery stuff. I think it was Gable. Is it Gable that's the shimmery silver? Anyway, the shimmery silver, and then I'll probably add some of the glitter in if I remember rightly. So now I have switched hands, and the struggle is real. This is me using my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand, trying to do the block design. For real, this was a pain in the backside. Excuse me. Lord only knows why I didn't get my little craft knife out, because that would have made life so much easier. But I decided to make my life even more difficult and try and shape it with my brush and a hand file, and you'll see that that is really not very easy to do. And had I used my craft knife, my design would have come out a hell of a lot better, but wasn't thinking straight, and now I'm fighting with this acrylic. Don't know why, but yeah, I'm really crap with my left hand. As you can see, I'm making a right mess of it, but we get there eventually. So onto the little finger, and I am going to be doing a ombre, attempting an ombre, anywho. There we go. I've put the grey on the near the cuticle, swiped that down, and then I'm using the white and, you know, swiping that up but towards the cuticle from the tip and trying to get a nice blend going. Now carrying on with that block design, I forgot to show you that I did file that white in. So I filed the triangle of the white, and now I'm applying one of the darker greys. Haven't done a great job of matching it up to my other hand, but yeah, really not easy using the non-dominant hand. So on the thumb I'm doing another ombre. I'm using a darker grey this time. Excuse me, and these colours I mixed up myself. And then I'm using a lighter grey to ombre it. Now when I say I mix my colours myself, I use my Neo Clear, my Neo White and cosmetic grade micas. I also have ultramarines and oxides, and I get my pestle and mortar out and I mix them. I normally always use Neo for that. Excuse me. So now I'm putting some lace on. Now I've used some nail glue, and this lace was really thick. I should have used a thinner lace, but as I said, I like to make my life more difficult, apparently. This nail comes out a lot thicker than I would have liked it to be, but I couldn't help that with the thickness of the lace. It was impossible to get this nail thin. So yeah, I'm just using the nail glue and trying to... If you put the glue on the edges, as it dries, it makes it easier to file, because when you're trying to file lace, if you don't have the glue on, it really does, it just frays. So it just helps stop the fraying putting the glue on. So yes, I'm back at that colour block now, filing that grey in and then putting another grey on the other side. It's a lighter grey. I'm just using my brush to shape it as best I can, and it really does not match the other hand at all, but I keep looking at them thinking this doesn't match, but at this point I was losing the will to live. I just wanted it done and over with. So now I've switched back to the index finger, doing another little marble, trying to make my cuticle area nice and neat, filling in any gaps and working my way down the nail, swirling, patting, swirling, all that good stuff. Try not to swipe too much when I'm doing a marble, because it just blends the colours too much, so I try and pat the lumps down. I'm adding some of the silver acrylic, just to highlight bits and bobs, and then some of the MAC's Professional glitter. Where I fancy it going, I'm putting it in. I'm sorry I'm a bit out of shot here, but yeah, I'm just adding the glitter. And more glitter. Oh, I'm adding some of these lens flares. These holographic lens flares, they're so pretty. Really like these. So I've added some of those. And now I'm trying to file in, oh, this colour block. Why I didn't use a craft knife, I have no idea. I think I was on morphine that day. So I gave up with the hand file and tried to use my e-file to shape it. I was really desperate at this point. Oh well, we do what we must. I'll get there eventually. I wasn't happy with it, but I was happy it was over when it was done. Really could have done a better job with this, but yeah, I was having an off day for sure. Excuse me. I'm building up another wall. I mean, it looks alright once it's filed in, it does look okay. But it wasn't exactly what I had wanted. It turns out okay, but not what I wanted. That's what I mean. So I'm adding some of the MAC's glitter to the thumb, and a nice little swooshy swirl from the cuticle area up down to the tip. Up down to the tip, what on earth? Well, yeah, I suppose it depends on which way you look at things. It works both ways. I just added a little bit of clear acrylic there, and I'm adding a little butterfly. He's so pretty. I can't remember where I got them from. I think I got them from Smiley's Glitter Store. Yeah, got the butterflies from Smiley's Glitter Store. I'm adding a little butterfly to the little finger too, and a couple of lens flares. well, it's a row of lens flares. They're so gorgeous. They come in different sizes, so I'm just putting bigger one and then going smaller down in size. Back to the colour block. Where the struggle continues. So I filed that last bit in and now added the white to the tip of the nail, and that's that done. Once that dries, I will file that in and it will look much better than it does right now. Now, I lost some of my lens flares when I put my finger down on the kitchen towel. My lens flares came off, so I had to put some more back on. And now I am capping everything, sealing it all in, trying to make sure my cuticle area is nice and neat and flush and doesn't have a step. Trying to make sure everything's covered. So yes, going through capping everything. I know these look are an absolute mess right now, but once they're filed in, they look okay. I'm just adding a bit of the Max glitter underneath that lace where it meets the black acrylic. And I lost another lens flare. So I'm putting some more back on. That's what happens when you're not paying attention to where you're putting your fingers and you put them down. And you wipe off your stuff. Now I'm capping that so I can't lose any more of my lens flares. You can see the lens flares on the towel there where I'd lost them. I'm capping that lace nail now. And it looks so bulky, but the lace was really thick, like I said. Sorry, I keep going out of shot. I'm just trying to make sure every bit of that lace is covered. So now I'm filing in that colour block nail. And I'm out of shot for a lot of that, I'm sorry. So now I'm going to actually cap it because I didn't do the colour block very thick. So now I'm capping. I've said it before, I like to cap everything. I just feel more secure when I know that I've got a clear layer over the top. It's just something, force of habit, I think. Plus, because I've mixed some of those colours myself, I don't know how strong they're going to be. So just cover my bases and make sure I cap. So once I've got the base layer and the capping, so the colours are sandwiched, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it adds strength. So I'm trying, and I mean absolutely trying to get my shape back. So I filed the sides, file the side, one side, file the other side, file the free edge, try and find my shape again. I think this is a 150 grit file. And to save the day, my trusty e-file. I love my e-file. It's truly my best friend. It saves me. I know you shouldn't rely on filing, you should rely on your brush and your application so that you don't spend ages filing, but given that I was using my non-dominant hand, there's only so much I can do. And so yes, when it comes to the non-dominant hand usage, I do rely on my e-file to save me. Simple as. And I can't file it all in with hand filing because my hands and my fingers just can't handle it. My arms and shoulders, no, they can't handle manual filing for too long. So yes, e-file is wonderful, and I am e-file trained. I did take a course on it, so I am certified to use it, and I recommend anyone who uses an e-file to get that hasn't had training to get training. It's worthwhile because you learn tips and tricks. Well, at least I did. My tutor was amazing. You learn tips and tricks on how to use it properly, so definitely worthwhile investing in that and getting certified with it. So now I'm desperately trying to thin down this lace nail, but I can't go too far with it, otherwise I'll cut into it, so it will be a bit bulkier than the other nails. So how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Sorry the videos haven't come out as often as I had hoped. Solly, yeah, I don't want to make excuses, but I'm not a well person and I do what I can when I can, end of. So I'm sorry there's no schedule for the videos because I never know whether I'm going to have a good day or not. So I'll edit them as and when I can and upload as and when I can. If my health improves, then they'll be more often. If not, then I'm sorry. This is well the best I can do at the moment. So I've finished e-filing, so now I'm going in with a buffer block, and well, it's a buffer file, and I'm just going over the surface and just making sure it's nice and rounded off and I don't have any harsh lines from the e-file, and using my lovely little brush to brush out any dust from the cuticle area. Then I've got my rubbing alcohol and a lint-free wipe, clean all the nails off. And in with the top coat. Hallelujah! We are at the end. You survived. If you're still here, thank you so much for bearing with me and sitting through my trauma. Best bit, top coat. Oh, lush. Now you can see that lace. It does look pretty, the lace, it really does. But next time I use lace, I think I'm going to definitely use a thinner one. Oh, look at that marble. I'm really pleased with the marbles actually. The marble nails came out really nice. I was really happy with them. Look at that lens flare, isn't that gorgeous? So pretty, and the little butterfly when it catches the light. So nice. So in with the cuticle oil, and then I am done. Now as you see, I've got some gems on the other hand. So both hands are slightly different. So now I've decided I need to put the gems on, and I shouldn't have top coated yet. So then I was just too excited to be finished, so I got ahead of myself. So then I buffed, going in with my, I think it's my resin, yeah, my resin glue, and putting some gems on. These are my opal crystals, really pretty. I think they match the set quite nicely. Oh, I wasn't happy with that one, changed it, put a smaller one on. So I decided to do the ring finger different on this hand. On the other hand, I had put, I don't know if you saw that there, I got a cube on it, but I decided that it was going to annoy the crap out of me and I'd end up taking it off, so I decided not to even bother putting it on this finger. So it's a little bit different on this hand. So now going in with my top coat again, and I butt that right up to the crystals, but I do not go over them. If you go over them, they lose their cut. So you see I've got a little liner brush and I'll just go in between them just to give them a bit of added security. But yeah, if you go over them, because of the cuts, once you put the gel over the top of them, they turn into little round balls, so they don't shine as much. So that's why I go around them rather than over them. And yay, all done. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you didn't get too bored, and I hope you come back and watch another one when I upload the next one. So thanks ever so much for watching. Take care now, peeps.